3.
Six.
Because
Okay, here we go. Speaking of numbers, here we go. You guys remember we talked about segments yesterday? Now what I want to do is find the lengths of them, but not using a ruler. We're going to put them on a graph and find the lengths. First thing I want you to do, 1A, can you guys draw line segment AB on here? I gave you point A and point B. Everyone remembers how to graph points back in the day, right? We did do that elementary school,
Back in the olden days.
We
Right.
did that last year. I could be wrong though.
Well, you did. I'm sure you did graph points last year, but I'm assuming you learned how to do it back in elementary school. So
I did not learn it.
I
2,
think we
1,
learned it in
2.
like 6th grade or something.
Probably maybe 6. You're right.
If it was fifth, I was.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 3. So go ahead and graph that line segment.
peanut butter
All right, Colin, we need you. I need you up here. All right, need you up here.
until it froze.
All right, we have it all graphed. Now, I don't know if anybody remembers this from yesterday. Look at what I'm at. Do you know what I'm asking in part B when it says find AB? It's not like, oh, it's right here. All right, that's what I'm asking. Anybody remember when I dropped the line segment symbol, what I'm looking for now? What that means when you drop it? Now I'm looking for how long it is. Okay, so AB equals, you're gonna tell me how long it is. That's what it means when I drop the line segment symbol. And I'm not looking for anything fancy. Count.
5.
Right? What do you got? 5, right? 5 units long. Perfect. Let's try this one more time with line segment CD. So go to part C and graph line segment CD. And then as we answer part D, notice I dropped the line above it, the segment above it again. So I'm looking for the length of CD. And we count, and it's 1, 2, 3 units long.
Ooh, that was a good punch.
All right, well, this would be fun if we just did this all day, right? Just count. That would be easy. We're going to run into a problem, though. What if it, correct, what if it's not vertical or horizontal and we cannot count? We run into a problem. That's today's topic. So go ahead and graph EF now in the next problem. Number 2, go ahead and graph EF. And we're going to have to figure out a solution here.
Here's what was the purpose of making them sideways? This is so weird. You guys ever had frozen Nutella before?
Why does your bread smell so strong?
I like bread.
All right.
It's almost like this weird as bread.
We all agree? Can't count.
Why do I write F twice?
That's a E.
Oh, I know. Maybe.
Well, I just insulting him.
We all agree I can't count. So I need something. What's
you
up,
can't
Colin?
count. Why are you?
Rise over wrong.
What's that?
Rise over wrong.
Okay, that's called slope.
Yeah.
That's the steepness of the line. I'm looking for the length of it. Okay, because if you do slope, that'd be something like a fraction, and then it's not a fraction of the line. Okay, but good thought, though. Good thought. That's the steepness of it. I'm looking for how long it is. What's up, Miriam?
It's 4.
How'd you get 4? Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't do that. We can't do that here. Only if it's horizontal or vertical. We can't go. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's a quarter of a unit. I don't know. All right.
It's
Can't
fine.
count it. I'm just showing we can't count anymore. Yes, Colin.
I got 5.
Where?
We can keep guessing, but I can tell you the answer is not a whole number.
Dang it.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Answer's not a whole number. All right, I can even tell by the directions because I want it left in radical form.
4 by
All right,
5.
so now, hey, all right, enough of the guessing. I can't count. I have to rely on a formula I'm going to show you now called the distance formula. All right, it's a formula that'll tell you the length of a line or length of a line segment every time. Here it is. It's a little involved, sorry, but welcome to geometry. D for distance equals, and now you guys are going to have a gigantic radical, and we're going to put some stuff underneath it. All right, first thing underneath is a set of parentheses with the following. I'm going to slow down. All right, you're going to have a set of parentheses. Inside the parentheses, watch what I'm going to write. X, 1, look where I put the 1 there. It's not x to the first. Minus x, 2. Now, before I move on, what am I talking about? Oh, go back up. Doesn't every coordinate have an x and a y? So that's what you're going to do there in a second. You're going to subtract both x coordinates. That's what that means in there, those x's. Okay, everyone good? x1 and x2, those are the two x coordinates. All right, and after you subtract them, take a look. You're going to square that value. Okay, square it. Then we're going to add, and you guys are pretty clever. I've only known you a few days, but I can tell you're pretty clever here in math. What do you think I'm going to put here? Let's do the y's too, right? We did the x's. Let's do the y's as well. y1 minus y2, and we are also going to square that.
So wouldn't it be that, that first equation in parentheses minus, the x is minus the y's?
Nope, this is it right here. This is it. We can't go any further. Okay? So let's go back up now and use it on EF. Okay, what are my x coordinates up there? For E and F, what are the two x coordinates? Go ahead, Ron.
2 minus 4.
2 and 4. Now, good, hey? You see how Riley said 2 minus 4? Order doesn't matter. If you do 2 minus 4 or 4 minus 2, when you end up squaring the answer, it's going to be all the same. So don't worry about the order you subtracted in. Just make sure it's the x coordinates. So again, you could have 4 minus 2 and you'd still be all right. Plus, all right, let's subtract the y coordinates now. What are the y coordinates up here? 1 and 5, or 5 minus 1. Your call. Just as long as we're subtracting them. All squared. And another piece of good news, you're done. Now you just grab your calculator and go to work. All right, as long as you can substitute them in correctly, the calculator is going to do all the work. Just make sure it gets all underneath that square root.
I was pretty close.
What'd you say?
I said
Didn't you say
5
4.5?
previously.
Okay, no, let's talk. Because your calculator will always give you two answers. A radical answer with the radical and an answer as a decimal. Pay attention to the directions. The directions say simplest radical form, so I want the radical version. All right, I don't want the 4 point whatever there, which is, what's the radical version?
2 radical.
What is it?
2 radical.
I have 2 radical 5.
Oh, I don't know why I said 2 squared outside.
2 radical 5.
Oh, 2.
How do we get that? Calculator.
I know what happened.
Okay, got to use your calculator, Mary. Okay, that's what happens when we don't. Okay, got to use the calculator. Make sure you can get 2 radical 5 before I move on.
Yeah, I know that one.
Oh, did you get 2 radical 5 in your calculator?
Yeah, I've never heard anyone call me near.
Did he?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh, I thought I said Miriam. Sorry, I cut it off.
Did not realize.
I didn't realize it.
Oh, yeah.
So you gotta listen or écouter.
You good?
écouter.
2 radical 5, good. Okay, so just pay attention to the direct, because sometimes I may ask nearest tenth, and then you want to use the decimal.
I mean,
Okay.
I was close. I said 4.5.
Okay.
If you
Anybody?
rounded up, I
You
would be
were
right.
relative.
If you rounded up, I would be right.
If you
Ask
rounded
for
it
an
down, I'd be
estimate,
right.
Miriam. Might be.
Before we move on, not going to give it to you.
Okay.
Okay. On any tester. So the quiz next Tuesday, when you have a distant, I won't give this to you. That's for you to remember. Okay. Or how about I give you another option here? All right, because I just don't want to say, darn it, you do it this way and that's it. Last year, who did you guys have, Mr. Spina?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys go over this last year? Did you guys talk about that at all?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring it up if you didn't then. When you had a right triangle,
Yeah, we talked. We
Oh.
you had like 2, 7, and you were trying to find that side.
Yeah.
You do
Oh,
2
yeah.
squared plus 7 squared equals x squared.
Yeah.
Sound familiar? No?
Vaguely.
Yeah, I remember
Yes.
what is it Pythagoras or whatever?
Pythagorean theorem.
And
Correct.
then he like believed that you had a certain amount of air in your body, so he started a thing where you couldn't fart, so then you would live longer.
Okay. All right.
That's
We're
the
gonna go
best
down.
takeaway.
Dude, we're really being more.
Okay, so I'll just keep it to the distance formula, or do you want to see this other method? So you guys can choose.
It pretty much makes sense.
I want to see it just like in case.
Okay, well, here you go. This only works if you have a right triangle.
Okay.
This can only be used in a right triangle. So how the heck does that relate to this? Make a right triangle.
So does that mean even?
Yeah, that's why they didn't want to eat beans either.
Exactly.
So make a right triangle. You can count each of these, right? So what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 2. And now do 2 squared plus 4 squared equals c squared. 4 plus 16 equals c squared. 20 equals c squared. And if you do the square root of 20 on your calculator, you're going to find a familiar answer. Okay? So you can make a right triangle out of it.
Oh.
All right, that's the alternative. I always want to give students alternatives because I know some people don't like memorizing. All right, but that's the other way you could do it, is make a right triangle out of
We
it.
all memorized the quadratic formula.
Okay.
There's ice in my sandwich.
All right, here we go. One doesn't make you great. Let's try it on another one now. Find the distance between R and S. Notice the directions say simplest radical form. So all I'm gonna do, and I don't expect you, this is not required. I'm just gonna do it because I'm teaching right now. Just rewrite the distance formula for everyone to remember. Here, you just got to watch out because now I put negative signs. All right, some of the coordinates are negative. Unlike the last one, they're all positive, didn't have to worry about, so you do have to take your time. Anybody got the x coordinates? X coordinates are
-2.
and
6.
6. So whether you go -2 minus 6 or 6 minus -2, just do not drop any signs. And then the y coordinates are also 6 and -2.
So it'd be -2 minus 6.
Yeah, that's or 6 plus 2, right? Because 6 minus a -2 would give you a +2. So you do it that way.
Does anyone else feel nauseous? Or is that just me?
No, but if you feel nauseous, probably could and should go down to the doctor's office.
Okay. No, I'm feeling quite sleepy.
Simplest radical form?
Mhm.
What do you got?
8.
8.
8 radical 2.
8 radical 2. Yep. Everyone should be getting 8 radical 2 in there. Good.
I knew that though.
I should.
Alrighty. Any questions? We got one more to go because I'm not going to do example 5 with you. All right. I do want to, try to do an application problem. So as we read this, I think we can all agree somebody's got too much time on their hands. Ben and Kate going to make a map of their neighborhood.
Yeah. Why?
Hopefully I didn't if somebody ever made a map of the neighborhood. Hopefully I just didn't.
It made me think of the matrons from BOGs. They made a model.
Now, important here, keep reading. 1 unit represents 100 yards. So every time you go 1 unit on that graph, you win 100 yards. How many yards apart are their houses? I need your help. Whoa, I need your help first. I don't even know what their coordinates are. I didn't label them. So let's see.
6'2".
Ben's house, Colin?
6'2".
6'2", yeah, 6'2", 6'2". Kate's got a little negative over here, huh? Kate's house, coordinate anybody? Negative?
Two, 4.
Negative 2, comma?
4.
4 or negative 4?
Negative 4.
Negative 4, yep.
You guys write your fours.
No way.
All right, I am going to let you guys do this how you feel comfortable because there's 2 different ways we could approach it. We could find the distance right now, find how many units away Kate's and Ben's house is using the distance formula, and then apply the 100 yards. Or is anybody applying the 100 yards to the coordinates now and using the distance formula? Because you could do that too. Instead of 6'2", make it 600, 200 and do the distance. But you do you, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to do my version up here too while you're working.
I have an idea. Is it 1,300?
What?
Is it 1,300 yards?
No. Where are you getting all these crazy answers from today?
Well, they said that one box is on.
Okay, but you're doing the counting thing again. That's a diagonal line segment, isn't
Well,
it?
what if you go up and then sideways?
You're doing slope, which I talked about with Colin. That's the steepness of it. It's not the length of it.
There's no way. It is four
Why are they going
units
through other
away.
people's houses?
You're correct. It is not 4 units away. So I'm not sure what you're doing in the distance formula. You got to plug your x's into the distance formula, your y's into the distance formula.
Oh. They're about 10 blocks away.
10 units, right?
10 units.
But we're looking for how many yards now, right? How many yards?
100.
Everyone's getting 10 units away.
Or heaven.
All right, make sure you get 10 units away after you find the distance.
I don't think
Okay, what do we plug in? 6 minus just 2? What's that x coordinate? What's the x coordinate? No. You know your x's versus your y's, Miriam, or no?
I do.
X's always come first.
Yeah.
So it should be 6
Oh.
minus negative 2. So that should be 6 minus negative 2. And then this should be, what'd you pick here? I don't know, you don't have a negative 2 as your y yet, just that positive 2 minus negative 4. I think you're getting your x's and y's mixed up. You got to subtract the first two numbers,
Yeah.
then you got to subtract the next two numbers. So that's good. Let's fix this right now. What's your y coordinate up here? 2, all right, minus, what's your y coordinate down here? Negative 4. So that'll become plus 4. Now type that into your calculator. Okay, so 10 units. All right, so we're all up to 10 units. So the next step is, but how many yards? So what do I do with this 100 yards and the 10 units?
1,000.
So I do 10. Every unit is 100 yards, so times 100. And I get 1,000 yards. Yep. And there it is. Okay. Questions, comments, any concerns? Is everyone all right going from the 10 units to the 1,000 yards? All good? Okay, you can cross out number 5. I'm not doing number 5 with you. And like I told you at the beginning of the class, there's no assignment tonight. We're going to do that assignment in class together as a big group tomorrow. Okay, sitting down together. Okay, so you guys have the rest of the period to yourselves. All right, because this is a pretty darn important topic.
What
I
time
want to
does
make
this
sure.
class